Right, Paziti, forced Indian hate in Indonesia. I have no clue what this is about, except more Indian hate. And I gotta say, this stuff gets so freaking confusing. I don't understand. I really don't understand this. I can't fathom this. I really can't. Like, I try to understand why people hate, because it's like maybe they want to just feel superior. They want to point their finger that these people are worse than I am. That there's probably a bit of that, but it's just, oh, and money. Of course, the money. Everyone wants the money. Everyone wants that bag. You make one video that's a hit piece on India. I keep saying that I need to upload my wedding and have have it be some clickbait kind of thumbnail, and then have the title be "Why I Hate India." So, that's what I gotta do. That is what I gotta do.
Hi guys, I'm back. I would be disappointed if you didn't miss me. So one of you guys brought something really interesting to my attention. I'm just gonna read it out. This channel claims to be pro one religion, but almost all of its content, every single video it uploads, is focused on insulting, stereotyping, and spreading hatred against India and the Hindus. I wonder why that is. Is it simply because it's the largest Muslim majority country in the world? Is it the same propaganda mechanism that works with the Pakistani and Bangladeshi bots? See, Indonesia is a really fascinating place. Despite being the largest Muslim majority country, the national emblem of Indonesia is Garud, which is basically derived from Hinduism. It's the carrier or vehicle of the Hindu god Vishnu. Also, they had Lord Ganesh on their old currencies, which is a Hindu god. Their currency is called rupiah. That sounds almost identical to rupiah, the Indian currency. What I'm trying to say
I thought it was the same.
Indonesia doesn't try to hide that it has deep civilizational and cultural connections with India. And not just Indonesia, you could clearly see India's influence in the majority of Southeast Asia. They can't deny that there have...
Well, it was, well, Hindu nation. Like, there are so many places which were predominantly Hindu that have transitioned over the years due to invasions, forced religious change, all that kind of stuff. It's how it's operated for centuries, and it's how it continues to operate to this day. But yeah, that's why in its history it's like that. Like what's that temple that has... It's a Buddhist temple, but like the majority of its iconography, it's like all carved into stone. All of its iconography is like Hindu, because it was originally like a Hindu temple. That's when it was created. But as the people changed, as they became more Buddhist, the entire demographic, and now it's known as the Buddhist temple, when it was originally a Hindu temple. Yeah, there's a lot of places like that. There's a lot of places like that which were influenced by one thing, then they get transitioned into something else, and then they pretend like they were never a part of that originally.
Heavily inspired by Indian culture and history, that they have civilizational ties with India. India is too big and influential to be ignored in Asia. And for a country like Indonesia that is so aware of this thing, running anti-India propaganda to ruin its relations with India makes no sense. That means it's the same propaganda bots at work. They have a global network. It's like an MNC now. And their ideal employee is someone who could sacrifice their life for their country. Or maybe a hateful retard chud in their mom's basement. Oh, they have an Instagram page too. India.
It's just reposting the same videos. It's really just reposting the same videos. And again, this stuff goes viral. This stuff is so easy for people to jump on. And like I swear, like a few videos that have been created by like news creators, the Tyler Overia, which is that's a completely different thing. That's a completely different topic. But yeah, Tyler Overia, I freaking hate his content. It's so freaking made up. Everything's so forced, but he was probably paid to do a lot of his hit pieces. Paid. He made money for it. So of course he's going to do it. And then when you have a big creator pushing that kind of narrative, and then other people jump on it not knowing any better, like Asmongold and people who are just big enough and they watch a video not knowing anything about it, guess what? They spread the narrative. And then a lot of people that don't know any better start watching videos like this. Again, I sadly had like only my parents and one of my brothers at my wedding due to all this nonsensical propaganda. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was getting enraged a bit, like talking down to family because of they would say a comment and then I'd respond with literally something like, it was just like, how can you guys be so small-headed? How could they be so small-headed? But that's just, I didn't realize it. It's like, it's till after the fact that it was affecting my personal life because my family was so afraid to travel to India because things will happen. Things will happen. It's just like, okay, sure. There are 1.5 billion Indians in India and then 5 million around the rest of the world. I mean, sure, things are going to happen per capita. Of course, there's going to be cases of things, but at the same time, the same could be said about anywhere else in the world. But yeah, still, I'm pissed off about that. My family wasn't at my wedding due to this nonsensical propaganda. My family believed that stuff rather than me, who had been there several times, they'd rather believe the nonsense. And that's why I hate this stuff so much. People get paid for it. They got this snowball rolling of getting one valid journalist to make a video on it, and then other content creators that don't know any better and just watch videos and react to it, kind of like what I do, let's be honest. But I at least know a bit about India. I've at least been there. But then again, I have a small audience, so I don't have as big of reach as some people. But yeah, it's so aggravating. It's so aggravating seeing this kind of stuff and seeing the hate that goes towards it.
All of their videos are on India. They're doing the job of the opposition in India. But most of this is not even criticism. It's just hatred and misinformation. And the person who sent this to me also said that this channel continuously posts blatant anti-India Hindu hateful propaganda and fake news that targets Indian Hindus on a daily basis. This channel often uploads 3 to 4 video shorts daily, and all of their videos are viral with hundreds of thousands, often millions of views, along with thousands of hate comments by Indonesians against Indian Hindus on almost every single video they upload. Indonesians are being brainwashed by such propaganda channels into hating Indian Hindus without realizing that they are being fed exaggerated biased propaganda and fake news. In one of its videos titled Scam Asonga in India, which translates to,
I don't know why, but Indians abroad don't have any power to retaliate against racism. They let people walk over them or they gloss over it until they personally get targeted. Yeah, again, I don't like that kind of stuff. I absolutely hate that. And so many people will just look the other way because it doesn't affect them personally. And that is one of the biggest problems. Like, people do need to speak up. People do need to counterbalance. Like, what? A fourth of the world's population is Indian. A fourth of the world's population. You could easily drown out any paid narrative about Indian hate. Why? Because a fourth of the world's population is Indian. A quarter of which is around the rest of the world. But yeah, it's crazy how there are so many people, but again, this is why I don't mean to be insulting, but it's very pacifistic. And I seriously think it's kind of like the Gandhi embodiment that so many people, even though he's not well respected, it's still kind of there. Oh, we don't want to hurt. We don't want to cause harm. Cause harm. Hurt people. You have to spread the narrative somehow. If you're attacked, you attack back. That's how I've always seen it. Work on self-defense. The problem is that so many people have a pacifistic... I don't want to generalize, but at the same time, that's how it feels. So many Indians have like a pacifistic kind of tendency where they're like, no, it'll blow over. There's no need to say anything. Guess what? Because people think like that. And the good thing is, like, there is a generation that's growing that's wanting to lash back. But the problem is, they're on both sides of the coin. So you end up with the safe, self-hating Indians and then the very patriotic Indians. You end up with both because the following generation is more like wanting to be patriotic and wanting to speak out about what they believe in, whether they're right or wrong. So that's also the downside of the coming generation. But so many previous generations of Indians didn't want to fight back. They didn't see the point. There was no point. So it's just, I think that's one of the big things that goes into it.
Indian street vendor scam has nothing to do with religion, and there is no proof that the street vendor in the video is Hindu or even Indian. He's apparently from Bangladesh or Pakistan. But the channel posted the video just to tarnish India's image and malign Hindus. The fact of the matter is many such street camps of a similar nature are extremely common in Indonesia. Corruption by politicians in Indonesia is way worse than in India. This is what the person said. And these hateful propaganda videos are getting millions of views. What's up, YouTube? What is happening? Isn't it cyberbullying? Isn't it hate speech? Isn't it misinformation? Anyway, debunking these videos and their claims is not going to change their mind. It won't change anything. And it's not my style. They know what they're doing. And you should know what you're supposed to do. And how do you counter propaganda and fake news, my friends? With reality.
Just before I made my state visit to India, I had what is called a genome sequencing test. I tested my DNA, and I found out I had Indian DNA.
Yes.
No duh. You're Indonesian. That you okay? Whatever. I don't understand this. I don't understand this. This is so freaking funny. How people fight so hard to be a part of something, only to realize that they're not included in it. It's just so insane. It's so insane. It just speaks to how strong the Gandhian propaganda brainwashing has been. It almost feels as if it has been mixed in the DNA. Oh yeah. Again, I hate that. I could understand. Like, I thought, like, okay, Gandhi says what he said because, like, again, I'm going to be honest. If it wasn't for my wife, I wouldn't care about India. I wouldn't be speaking about India. I would know nothing about India because I wouldn't care. And that's how I think most people should be. If they don't have a leg in the race, why should they care? The problem is too many people just talk about every random thing, not knowing anything about it. But I thought, like, okay, Gandhi's talking about this. There must be a very peaceful nation, must be a very, like, safe location, only to find out later in life that his people were being butchered, his people were being executed, the women were having very savage things done to them. And his reason was like, oh, women can hold their breath, they can bite off their tongue. Like, but don't do self-defense. As soon as you see that in like, for me, even though I'm in a peaceful nation, I fight for self-defense. I believe self-defense is incredibly important. And here Gandhi was in a war-torn nation that was literally split in half, and he's telling people not to defend themselves. I mean, how brainwashed do you have to be to watch your people, hear your people being slaughtered and be like, I'm gonna fast. I'm gonna fast. You know what? I'm gonna sleep naked with my granddaughters to prove I have self-control. I mean, how do you go to that point? It's so freaking brain rotten. Like, again, I can understand that from white women that live in a protected community, the whole Gandhi mindset. I can understand that from them. Why? Because they don't know stress. They don't know fear. They don't know nothing. The fact that Gandhi was literally in that location and saying all that nonsense, it was insane. Oh my gosh. What's writing fully on your shirt? Oh, nothing much. To all the peaceful you have to be most powerful. True. Without power, you can be peaceful. Or without power, you cannot be peaceful. Yeah. Again, like, freedom isn't free. Freedom isn't free. You have to earn the respect by putting everyone else down.
That's what I'm talking about, sir. Let's go back to the roots.
That's
where we
my
all
shirt.
came from. And did you see that head nod he did when he said he was Indian? He doesn't even have to prove it anymore.
Why is everyone cheering?
No, this is true, you know.
It's like, no duh.
And that's why I think every time I hear some music, especially Indian music, I find my body
just moving.
I know this feeling.
Just moving.
It's like your body is genetically coded to respond to that music as soon as you hear it. And I'm talking about real, authentic Indian music, not the ting-a-ling-a-ling. That is crap.
Today at the state banquet in our palace, you know, state banquet, very formal. But I cannot help my ministers, my generals, they all like to dance. They all like to sing. Maybe most of them have Indian DNA also.
And that is my point, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not run away from our roots. These channels can keep living in denial for as long as they want. But you know, truth...
The problem is what does he say when he returns back to his nation? What kind of things does he say about his genealogy?
It's like frat. No matter how hard you try to hold it in, it even
Respect is only earned when you put everyone else down. I don't think that's entirely true. I think respect is earned when you've done something deserving of respect. I think what you're depicting is like fear. Like, for a long time, the world feared the United States. Not so much recently, but for a long time, a lot of people feared America. And rightfully so, But that's the thing. I think what you're talking about is fear, not so much respect.
actually escapes, whether it's in the form of gas or a full-blown explosion.
Indonesia is the largest Muslim majority country on the entire planet by sheer population size. So if that's true, why is the island of Bali so overwhelmingly Hindu? Let's talk about it. To put things in perspective, only about 1.7% of the entire country of Indonesia is Hindu, according to recent statistics. And the island of Bali within Indonesia is about 87% Hindu. And this wasn't by accident. It actually goes all the way back to the 15th century whenever Muslims arrived in the country. Prior to the Muslim arrival, from about the 1st to the 14th century, Hindu and Buddhist kingdoms were all over the country of Indonesia.
And then forced conversions happened and it was no longer Hindu. Simple. They tried to do the same in India, but India managed to retain its...
They're doing the same in India. You could say they're trying. They're still doing the same in India. They're trying to do the same in the West. They're trying to do the same in America. They're literally taking over the majority of Europe. The UK is gone. Spain has literally realized what's going on, and now it's almost too late. It's almost too late to recover. That's the thing. It's just like they realized too late that they let the barbarians in the gates. They let the barbarians in the gates due to like, oh, so much white guilt. The thing is, why do they have this white guilt? Well, we conquered, we took over, we did this thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago, but now that we're civilized, we want to bring civilization to the barbarians, that they allow the barbarians to come in. The problem is, back in the day, colonization and bringing civilization to the barbarians worked the other way, where the civilized nation colonized the barbarians. Look at America. But I say civilized usually. They colonized the barbarians. But now they're like, you know what? We'll bring we'll allow the barbarians to get civilized. Let's open the gates. Allow the barbarians to come in. We'll civilize them that way. Only to realize that they're not getting civilized. They're getting taken over. Levi, they have changed their plan. Now they are using love jihad and land jihad and other ways, as they saw they can't force with different brutal ways. Yeah. Again, they're going to keep doing that love nonsense.
Civilizational and cultural identity, religions. You must have seen one common thing in all these anti-India propaganda channels. They're overly worried about Muslims in India. Well, India has the second largest Muslim population in the world. They won't talk about why Indonesia, being a Hindu country, has less than 2% Hindu population. But they would try to paint the narrative that India is unsafe for Muslims, which is so funny. India is probably the only country where Muslims, Christians, people from any community or religion can actually coexist. I mean, this really shows the mentality of these extremists.
You had temples, you had a regular worship, we even saw the caste system adopted by Indonesians. But once Islam arrived in the country, it spread rapidly. In just under 1 century, every single Hindu kingdom fell. Hindu priests, scholars, and artists all fled to the island of Bali. And it was a good refuge for them because the Muslim sultans had no use for the island. They were much more concerned with the ports of Indonesia that were a popular trade route. Bali also was naturally protected by its geography. It was a very mountainous island. It still is, actually. It's surrounded by mountains, so it was really impractical for them to even try and go to this tiny island. The island is a time capsule for what Indonesia looked like just 6 or 7 centuries ago.
And it's super obvious that people go there to experience that same 6-7 centuries old Indonesia. There's a reason why it's called Indonesia. You can also find its mentions in India's earliest epic, Ramayana. Indonesia is so diverse, we got people named Muhammad Vishnu, Ram Abdullah, and Habibindra. See, just like India, Indonesia is super diverse. But these names have to be the most secular names ever. You can't even find them in India anywhere. Here we have Indosphere and Sinosphere. Undeniably two of the oldest civilizations. And the Indian Vedic civilization still continues to exist. This is what the extremists from the desert cult don't understand. For them, everything is about one book. And everyone and everything that doesn't follow the book is invalid, they're subhumans. That's what they believe. And then they justify this kind of thinking with their actions.
Yep.
And this is the fundamental difference between the Indian civilization and the civilizations based on forceful conversions.
I think my favorite thing about India so far is just how much this country respects all religions. I've met people Hindu, I've met people Christian, I've met people Muslim, and they respect all religions. I've never been in a country that respected everybody's religion so much. Even this outfit, I asked them, hey, I'm Christian, is it okay to wear? Because it's like a spiritual Hindu outfit. And they were like, yeah, bro, we love Jesus Christ. You can wear it for fun. It's one of my favorite things about this country.
Yeah, because
No cultural appropriation. That's the thing. It's just like a lot of cultural appropriation is just a Western term to make sure everyone stays in their boxes. It's incredibly racist. It's incredibly racist. Oh, because you're Asian, you should act like an Asian. You should dress like an Asian. Like, how racist is it to be like, oh, white people need to dress like white people. Black people need to dress like black people, whatever that means. Asians, whatever region they're from, need to dress like whatever region they're from. I mean, what? Are you going to walk up to a Chinese person and ask them where their rice hat is? I mean, come on. It's just so freaking stupid. That mindset is terribly racist. Like, there's nothing wrong. Like, I never got more compliments than when I was dressed in like traditional Indian clothing. Of course, I still wore my hat, but I was dressed in like traditional Indian clothing. I never got more compliments than when I was dressed like that. Why? Because there's something, what's the word? What's the word? Something, I can't find the word. I can't think of the word, but there's something about it that people just find endearing. They find it endearing that it's just like, aw. Look at him trying. Look at him trying to emulate, like, you know, that kind of thing. It's very, very great. I think cultural appropriation is a good. Well, not with the way it's being used, not so much. But I think dressing, you know, wanting to become like experience the culture the way the people do. There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that.
this religion is not treated as a club membership in India. It's more like a way to know yourself, to know the ultimate truth. You don't have any conversion rituals. Hinduism or Sanatan is like the language of the universe. You're just born that way. You don't have to convert or do anything. You just are. You exist.
My name is Nona
Appreciation,
Evita.
thank you.
And actually, I'm Indonesian national, but my forefathers came from Sindh in India.
See, she looks so proud while saying that, as opposed to what those propaganda channels want you to believe. Since 1961, Muslim-majority Indonesia has celebrated the Ramayana through the iconic Prambanan Ballet. So since 1961, Indonesia has been staging the iconic Ramayana Ballet at the foot of the magnificent Prambanan temple in Yogyakarta. See, as I said before, not all of them have forgotten their roots.
India and Indonesia have long, ancient history together. If now a very important part of our language comes from Sanskrit, our names, many names of Indonesia are actually Sanskrit names. In our daily life, the influence of ancient Indian civilization is very strong. A few weeks ago, I had my genetic sequencing test and my DNA test, and they tell me that I have Indian DNA. So and everybody knows when I hear Indian music, I start dancing.
We get it, Mr. Subianto. You're undeniably Indian. This is the president of Indonesia. Now I'll leave it to you guys. Do you want to see Indonesia from his perspective? Or from the perspective of the propagandists and those hateful channels? Negativity grows faster than positivity.
Yep.
And it's easy to fall for the anti-India propaganda.
We don't invade anyone unless required. We will invade if required, but we typically don't.
We've never done it so far.
Oh, we have. Who were the Cholas? The Cholas not colonized, they conquered the whole of Southeast Asia. The Philippines spoke Sanskrit. The Filipino kings were Rajas, Hindu Rajas. All the way to the Philippines, including Vietnam, including Cambodia, including Indonesia. Everything was conquered by the Cholas. You had Chola vassal states in the Philippines. The greatest period of Indonesia's history was the Majapahit Empire, which was a Hindu empire. The greatest temples you will find across Southeast Asia are Shaivite temples and Vaishnavite temples, Vishnu temples. Yeah. So India did invade whenever required. Shri Kanishka did conquer the whole of Southeast Asia, the whole of Central Asia as well. Kumaragupta, the Gupta emperors also conquered various parts of Central Asia whenever required. So it's not like we have always been like that. Whenever needed, we have done it. But we don't needlessly go and conquer other countries. And even when we conquer other countries, we don't colonize and extract the hell out of them. We don't use them as blood bags, the way the Europeans have used the rest of the world. When they colonized India, they used India as a blood bag.
They sucked us dry.
They sucked us dry. We have never done that. The Cholas conquered Southeast Asia. They did not ever extract anything out of Southeast Asia. They actually enriched Southeast Asia with our culture and civilization. So India is that sort of nation. And maybe that explains our no first use policy.
This is why I keep saying that India is civilizationally different. and it should not aspire to be the next China, the next Europe, the next anything. It has its values, morals, and ethics in place. It just needs to improve more and remove all the social evils like corruption. This is apparently a Ramayana show in Indonesia that happens there daily, one of the greatest epics of Indian civilization. But of course, it's not just limited to India, it's a global thing. For some people, it can be really fun, and for others, it can be a little overwhelming. And it's totally understandable. The problem is when you think this is not right because it's not compatible with your culture. This is one of the main characteristics of the Indian way of thinking. You respect and acknowledge all cultures, all religions. Thank you so much for sharing this with me, Arjun. And that's it for this video. And by the way, it's my birthday today. Where's my wish? Where's my gift? Anyway, as always, propaganda.
A capybara birthday. That sounds great. That sounds great. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Pepsi. I gotta say, it is tragic, though, how so many people, it's the hate that spreads far, wide, and fast. And so many people just refuse to think for themselves. They refuse to think for themselves. Like I was talking with my my family, like again, because my wedding was coming up and I wanted my brothers there at least. But the propaganda was just so huge that I would be getting article from family member about article about things that were happening. And then what I'd do is I'd send article of things that were happening in that person's area. Sure, you can send articles about the whole of India. I'm going to send you articles about the state you're in. Because it's like, no matter what, you're going to find problems everywhere. And because of that mindset, and this is, I guess, one of the big reasons why I had no family members of my own except my parents and one of my brothers at my wedding due to this nonsensical propaganda because of it. Like, I know they try to use the excuse that their life was busy and everything, but it was the fact that they were afraid. They were constantly afraid that something was gonna happen. It was so insane, and this propaganda has affected people's lives. It makes people feel inferior. Like there are those who are easily influenced. Like there are always going to be those people. It's not just India in general. It's just there are people in India. There are people in the West who easily believe everything that's said about India is true. There are people in India that believe it all to be true, and they feel devastated. They feel like they're inferior to everyone else, so they hate themselves because of it. They hate their nation because of it, because all they hear is the hate. The problem is there have to be voices that counterbalance it. There has to be a narrative that goes more viral that shows people actually enjoying being there. Like I Show Speed went there, had a good time, but guess what? Nobody even talks about that. Everyone keeps talking about like Tyler Averia's nonsense. That went viral. I wonder how much he got paid for that. Oh my gosh.
You guys got a video? It was so bad.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait like that.